Great. So hi, everyone. Hi for the firstly joined attendees. Welcome to our webinar from the series of the subject webinars. And today we are going to talk about studying management and consulting in Germany. This is, if you like, umbrella topic for today. And my name is Georgi, not a new face for you, I'm sure. And as always, I'll be behind the scenes mostly and making sure that everything works fine, so to say. Dear attendees, for those who are not familiar with webinar setting of Zoom, so you can see the Q&A button just next to the chat button. So this is the key communication line between us and you. It is already open. It will be open for the next 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes that we'll have today, and then you can send in your questions starting from now, and then we will address the questions mostly live. So after our presentations are done from our speakers, our guest speakers, we will start the live Q&A session, and then your questions that you sent to the Q&A will be answered live by the most competent people, actually. So I have a short presentation prepared for you, dear attendees. Bear with me some time, and then we'll move to the most interesting part of our today's afternoon. So let me quickly introduce to you agenda. For those who registered earlier, they could also see that we had a planned webinar with 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥 Regensburg as well, but because of some reasons, the MA European Business Studies webinar will be rescheduled, and you'll be informed about that. And today we'll have two presentations from a 𝘱𝘢𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘁 or 𝘱𝘢𝘃 University of Applied Sciences, and we have Professor Dr. Mate Berman, who will introduce MA level program in integrative management on creative industries, and he will be assisted by Teresa Schneider. You can also see here in front of your screens. And then we are moving to Nürnberg and Geislingen University, and we have Professor Dr. Erskine Blank, and he will also talk about MBA level program in international management. So before we move to our distinguished guests, let me quickly tell you who is behind today's webinar. So for those who do not know, we are My German University. And when you hear about studying in English, or mostly in English in Germany, then it will ring the bell, right? My German University will pop up there, and you will be able to see that we have over 2,700 degree programs, which are mostly, if not fully, taught in English in Germany, both on bachelor level, on master's level. We have also some short courses, language courses as well that you can find in our database. And our main goal is to help those students who would like to pursue a degree, who would like to study in Germany. And we do this assistance through three key ways. One of them is through our study finder that you can see now on your screens. And it has lots of filters. When you go to our website and you go to study finder section, you'll be able to find lots of filters which will help you to find the best fitting program according to your background, according to your interests, in a very quick manner, timely manner, which will make your life much easier, I believe. Then we are also writing up various articles regarding studying in Germany, of course. We have over 150 comprehensive articles on different topics regarding studying in Germany. It can be, for example, language requirements, about letter of motivation, about generally German higher education system, fees and costs, letter of motivation writing, and so on and so forth. Lots of other things, and they're all for you available for free. And then I invite you to take a look whenever you have time to improve your understanding of what does it mean to study in Germany in general. Also, the third way of helping you is through organizing webinars. We have over 150 webinars per year on different topics. It can be general webinars when we do not have guests, but it's us who are talking about studying in Germany, for example, about UniAssist topics, about visa issues, etc., etc. But most of our webinars are the so-called subject webinars, when we, like the one that you're attending right now, where we have guests from German universities who are presenting their unique study programs, and then you have a unique opportunity, really unique opportunity, to ask your questions live and get your answers live from the most competent people who know the best about the given study programs, right? So yeah, and also my suggestion, all the webinars, actually, the subject webinars on different subjects, it can be studying physics in Germany, biology, medicine, etc. All the webinars that are already planned, you can find them in our webinar section on our webpage. And my suggestion would be for you to open an account on our webpage just to be able to unlock all of the options that it is able to offer you. And of course, opening and maintaining the account is also for free. Our team is based in Hamburg, in northern Germany, but we are also in different parts of Germany, in different parts of the world. That's where we are counseling also in different languages. So as I said, when you hear about English taught study programs in Germany, my German university should definitely be your stop. We have lots of degree programs regarding management and consulting in Germany, and you can see both on bachelor level and on master's level. And majority of them are English only, which means that in order to get into those programs and even to successfully complete those programs, you do not need any knowledge of German, which is a unique, great opportunity for internationals who are not yet that good with German yet. But when you come, of course, you will get better, definitely, and you should get better. For those who do not know what to expect when it comes to studying management and consulting in Germany, we also have specific subject pages, kind of generic pages where you can see for first glance of information, like what are the universities that are offering the programs in this direction, what are the tuition fee ranges that you should expect if you want to study these disciplines in Germany, so what you should budget, right? And what are the requirements that you should be ready to meet. All this kind of generic information, first glance information for you to create a bigger picture is provided in on those subject pages, and I would also strongly suggest you to take a look. This is a very nice first step to familiarize yourself with the situation on the ground. When you're searching for the programs, it's in the right university profile. It's of utmost importance not to be guided by only single aspects, but by only rankings, by only fees, by only city names. Of course, these are very important things for some students, extremely important, but you have to take into account all of these aspects and beyond. By beyond, I mean your personal aspirations, to take into account your individual backgrounds, and only then you can make a decision, the right decision, informed decision, to choose the right university and program, which is then a crucial first step towards your successful career. Also, what I would like to say that in Germany, there are two key types of universities. One is called Universität, and just university in English, and another one is called University of Applied Sciences, and in German it has some variations in namings. For example, Hochschule is one of those variations, and the key difference between these two is in focus. So when it comes to Universität type of university, generally the focus goes more into the direction of research and theory, and in case of University of Applied Sciences, we are talking more about application and practice. This is how it generally looks like, and yeah, there are some minor differences also, and you can also always drop me an email, and I'll try to explain you as compactly as possible. And last but not least, again, regarding the importance of searching for the right program. So when you are searching for the programs through our study finder, also make sure to be flexible with wordings. Don't be too rigid. And by doing that, by taking into account this aspect and all of the aspects that we mentioned before, you will drastically increase your chances of making the right choice, right decision when choosing the program of your study in Germany. That being said, let us move now from Hamburg to Berlin, to the capital, and we have BBW, University of Applied Sciences, and we have Teresa Schneider, as I already introduced, and also Professor Dr. Mate Berman, and they will talk about Master of Arts level program in Integrative Management of Creative Industries. That being said, I'm stopping my screen share and handing it over to our guests.
Thank you very much, Georgie. Hello, so my name is Teresa, as said before. I'm here from the international office from BBW University of Applied Sciences, and I will share my presentation with you. Let's see. I hope you see it correctly.
Yes, we do.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So a very warm welcome also from our side, from the BBW University of Applied Sciences. I will quickly introduce you to our university, and then further on, Professor Berman will introduce the specific program to you. So we are located in Berlin, as said, here in the southeast of Berlin. We are in a new building. We just moved here in April this year. You can see it here on the pictures. It's a brand new building, has all the facilities that we need. It's modern and very good, connected to the city by the public transport, and it's located in the Science and Technology Park of Adlershof, the biggest technology park in Germany, and I think also in Europe. A few numbers to our university. So we are a University of Applied Sciences, and so our focus is on the practical approach And for that, we have 20 industry-oriented study programs. We have 200 industry partners. So we have a big network in the business, of which our students benefit from. We have around 1,000 students and 400 international students among them. So we are a very diverse and international atmosphere, and we know what are your benefits, what are your needs, what are your concerns, and we do our very best to support you there. We are a private university, but we are state recognized and accredited by our study programs are accredited, and we have an institutional accreditation. So we have to meet the quality standards so that you receive a degree that is recognized internationally and nationally. Yes, we have many benefits and services that we offer to you. Here you see an overview of that. I will just highlight a few of them. So we have small study groups, so that's a very close and personal relationship that you will have with your professors, with our staff, with the team, and we give the close support there. We have our own job portal to support you in finding your way to the German job market. And for that, we also have a support from our career center and our own startup center as well. As an overview, the study program we were talking about, integrative management of creative industries, is offered twice a year in the summer intake, 1st of April, and in the winter intake, 1st of October. Our application deadline every year is the 15th of August for the winter term and 15th of February for the summer term. So we're right in the middle of the application period for the summer term 2024. To support you, we will have, for example, a welcome week in the beginning of the semester where we have different sessions, different workshops to help you settle in to the university, but also to life in Berlin and in Germany as a whole. And there are always online classes included in your program, but in the main part, this is a on-campus study program. So you need to come to Germany to study here full-time at our university. For students from India, China, and Vietnam, important information is that we require an APS certificate, but especially for our Indian students, I want to add that at the moment, because of the difficult application processes at the APS India office, we accept applications without the APS certificate, but for the admission, you will need to hand it in. And last but not least, information, we do not mind any age gap or any gap at all. So if you have worked in between your bachelor degree for some years and then decided to start a master's, that's okay. It's all life experience, and your experience contribute to the course and to the success of yourself and your fellow students. So feel free to apply. Speaking of application, these are the admission requirements. So you need a bachelor's degree of at least 6 semesters from a university or an equivalent institution, and the minimum grade should be satisfactory. So in German grades, this means 3.0. In GPA, it corresponds to 2.0. Then, of course, it's an English program. You don't need any German skills, but you need a B2 level of English. And for that, you can, for example, hand in the language certificates, for example, IELTS, TOEFL, and PTE. These are just some examples. We also accept others. Just ask us, contact us, and we will look individually. Yes, our admission process is quick and easy. We have an online application where you upload all the necessary documents. You can see it here in an overview. To check your documents, we usually need 2 to 3 weeks. And then you receive the outcome, and if it's approval, then you will receive the confirmation of registration. So you have the acceptance to study with us. And then at the later point, when we open the study program, we will send you the admission letter and all other necessary information, including a visa support letter. Here again, as a summary and an overview, so this study program is taught in English, as I said, and it's for 4 semesters. It's a full-time study program, and our study fee in total is 15,360 euros, and you can pay in 4 installments of 3,840 euros per semester. And if you are from a non-European country, then we kindly ask for an application fee of 250 euros, which should be paid in order for us to check your documents and check your eligibility to study. That was it, and I will give the word now to Professor 𝘱𝘢𝘷 to introduce you to the study program. Thank you very much.
Yes, good afternoon. I hope you can hear me well. My name is Malte Beermann. I'm professor at the 𝘱𝘢𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘍 now for 10 years, and I am introducing you to this program, Master Integrated Management of Creative Industries, which is an interesting, relatively unusual program, which tries to enable graduates to play a leading role in all branches of the creative industries. Yeah. So what are the creative industries? That is a very important first question. So there's a lot of discussion about what the creative industries are. Basically, we are talking about following sectors: music, books, arts, film, broadcasting, performing arts, design, architecture, press, advertising, software, games, and others, which could be fashion. And all these sectors have a lot of things in common, and through the digital shift, they have even more commonalities from a management point of view. And that's why we, as a university, decided to do a holistic master, which embraces all these different industries and tries to identify the commonalities from a management perspective, and to do research. What do these different sectors have in common from a management perspective? So we touch subjects like design thinking, but we also discuss holistic product development, intellectually property management, branding, ICT development, and stuff like that. So basically, we have 3 different approaches. We have technological creativity, which is invention, basically. We have economic creativity, which is entrepreneurship. And we have the 3rd pillar, which is artistic and cultural creativity. And in this triangle, we try to bring together the different aspects. And these are one of the authors we are teaching here is this guy called Peter Thiel from San Francisco. And he has, there are just 2 little pictures here. One is about innovation. So you have vertical innovation, which is basically do new things, or horizontal innovation, which is basically improve existing things, and also about founders. So we basically try to identify also unusual people, unusual ideas to create new things. That is for us very important. So what are we trying to bring together here? We try to bring together business expertise. I myself have spent a lot of long time in my life in the games industry. So I come actually from a creative industry sector, but before that I was working in the film industry. So I can also offer expertise in 2 of these sectors. Then you have obviously a creative approach. You work with creative people. We are not educating creatives themselves, but we are educating managers who work with creative, but you need industry insight, and also you need obviously flexibility to have this holistic approach. And why do we do this in Berlin? Because Berlin is for many years, for centuries actually, a melting pot of people coming into the city. We have around 60,000 people coming into the city every year. We are a fastly growing city, and we are quite unusual for Germany, a very international place where we have a lot of different countries and nationalities, and we bring everything together. And this is our strongest point, and we do this actually already for a number of years. So these are the different courses we are teaching: cross-functional analysis of creative industries, intellectual property management, but also innovation development, like design thinking. Methods of creative industries is an important big data analysis, project management, but also things like ICT or skills of creative industries, which is presentation skills, but also software skills. Then digital entrepreneurship, meaning business models, strategic financial planning, controlling, managing talents is HR specifically for the creative industries. Then we have obviously production and 3D printing, build your own prototype. A very important thing, because this is common, community-driven marketing is important for all sectors in the creative industries. Contracts and agreements, legal questions, and then long-term strategies and strategies of financing, how to develop your own project. Yeah? So this very important thing about this program is that we actually only teach on Fridays and Saturdays. So that means that from Monday to Thursday, you can actually go into the city of Berlin and find a job and work in the creative industries. And we have not very big study groups. We are also trying to help you to find such a place, so that you have a bachelor degree, you can bring your expertise into the classroom, and that is very important. So we have actually a multinational, but also multi-background kind of group, and we are trying to kind of teach each other. Most of the students, that's at least my experience, learn from each other more than from their teachers. Yeah. So this is, I think, we have an English language program. Usually we have students from all over the world, or very rarely we have several students from the same country in one course. And you have a lot of professional teachers. So 50% are professors, 50% are coming from the industry, which bring you into this quite diverse ecosystem of creative industries in Berlin, but which is a very strong, actually very strong economic power place here in our city, and we have a lot of open positions. So it's not so difficult to find a job in that moment. What can you do? You can become project manager, you can become innovation manager, social media manager, community manager, marketing person, consultant, entrepreneur. You can also do your own project. We have our own entrepreneurship center in our university, and you can actually also set up your own startup in discussion with me or discussion with us, and develop your business plan through your studies, and come out with your own project after this. This is also possible. Yeah? So we are taking in people from the creative side itself. So if you have studied film or art or something like this, or marketing, but we're also taking people from the management side, and obviously also diversely different people. So we also have engineers and lawyers and all kinds of people already. So these are some comments. Yeah. So you have different backgrounds here. You can see people even who did something in even industrial engineering. These are for the former students, and that is it basically. I will quickly look into the F&A if there's some specific thing I have to answer, or maybe I will do this offline, because I don't think I have so much time left. So then I will do this in the F&A. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Professor Berman, and thank you very much, Teresa, for very good presentations. With that being said, let us now move to our next speaker. And now we are moving to 𝘈𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈 University, and you can also see where it's located also on the map. And as I already introduced, we have Professor Dr. Erskine Blank, and he will now talk about MBA program in international management. So Professor, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the nice introduction. I will share my screen in a moment. I will take you to the south of Germany in the Stuttgart area from the more the northeast. I hope you can see that well. Yeah, excellent.
Yes.
So I say just a word about myself. I've been here at the university for quite some years as the program director, and together with my colleague 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥, who is not available today, we are running the program here together. I'm also in a startup project, 𝘈𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘵 called, which we are offering here, which we are also offering startup classes in English language. So 𝘈𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘵 University, it's a system accredited state university with good rankings and around 130 professors and more than 5,000 students at 2 campuses, more than 30 degree programs, of which half of them are roughly bachelor and 15 are master programs. And we have partnerships throughout the world. And the MBA program we are talking today about is located at our Nürtingen campus, which is just 15 minutes away from the airport, from Stuttgart Airport, and half an hour by train outside of Stuttgart city center without having to change trains. It's a direct train going out to Nürtingen. So I mentioned already system accreditation and quality management. So we have our own certified system accredited system by 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘍, and having that in a system set up. The mission and target students, what we are trying to reach here is to equip non-economists, young professionals with the basics of business competence and managerial skills for their career development, which is for positions in the managerial or specialist area requiring business management skills, especially in an international context. And as I assume that you are coming from various countries, it would be an extremely well fit. It's a comprehensive curriculum offering broad exposure and trainings in key business administration and management topics, including supply chain management, marketing, finance, accounting, controlling, and so on. So really in the sense of a general management education. So USPs of our institution here is we are a system accredited state university with top rankings. We have a broad exposure and insightful lectures by professors with industry experience. So as a University of Applied Science, all of us have, besides the academic rigor, the experience, the background of having worked in industry, and a lot of our colleagues are still active in consulting or research projects with companies. It's an effective blended learning approach with classroom sessions and a few e-learning periods, but the main focus is in classroom here, that you are really delve into the experience of studying here in Germany with German students and international students from all over the world. There's also a possibility of studying abroad at one of our different university partners abroad. And there's an intensive development of business management competence to prepare for your next career step, and the preparation for a career for managerial or specialist positions in the international context. If you are doing in the third or fourth last semester your master thesis, you can either do that completely independent from companies, but it's very popular to do that in partnership with a local company of this industrious Stuttgart area, or even abroad, which is a little bit more complex, but also attractive. So what means practical oriented learning? We have lecturers, people, specialists coming from companies such as Bosch, DEKRA, Daimler, Tata Group, Flex Automotive, GEMA, Dynature, and also a law firm like Harper Mailander as some examples. Our advisory board is composed of senior top managers from the companies mentioned here, like Daimler, Balluff, DEKRA, Ernst & Young, Management Partner, Otto Frank, and Festool. We are doing company tours. You might wonder what's my screen picture in the background. It's actually a company visit a little while ago at Adidas in 𝘱𝘢𝘕𝑔𝑡𝑪, where we have also alumni working and who had invited us. So we are also doing excursions, filling a bus and going to companies to speak to the experts there and to go into their facilities altogether. So examples are just mentioned here, like Adidas, like Arno, Bosch, BMW, Daimler, Porsche, Roto, Schmalz, Thales, Gardena, so various companies, or that people are coming from those companies to our institution. We have a format called Nutting Talks and International Management, where we are regularly inviting experts as well. The master thesis, as mentioned, are possible to be done in a company of the region or abroad or further away. So there are examples, also most recent master thesis a little bit further up in Wolfsburg in a well-known big automotive company there. And there's also the possibility to work as a working student or to do internships. So the program is composed in a way that it's feasible to work 1 day a week in a company of the region, or to do in the third semester an Urlaub semester, vacation leave, to do an internship in the local companies, and or to improve your German language skills along with it. So to look a little bit at the program, it's an intensive 3-semester Master of Business Administration program consisting of 12 mandatory modules, 1 elective course, a preparatory seminar paper, and a 4-month master thesis. So the first semester is really focusing on building the foundations for topics like general management, management of organizations and projects, value chain management, accounting, and quantitative finance. Whereas in the second semester, we are more going into the international dimension, reinforcing the understanding for the students through case studies in an international context. Topics like managerial economics, international business and management, international value chain management, international financial resources are just some examples, along with the preparatory seminar for the master thesis and the elective. So in this seminar, you're prepared for becoming ready to write the thesis, as we have learned that not all countries are mandating a master or bachelor thesis during their studies. So for some students, it's still a novel experience to write a larger academic paper altogether. In the third and last semester, you find a combination of practical courses combined with a master thesis. So a course in strategy cases, which has a little bit of function like capstone course, then international business law, sustainable international trade are the 3 modules which are offered in that semester, plus the master thesis, which has a duration of 4 months from the moment you sign up for it until submission. So here you see it a little bit structured by certain streams. You have on the upper part from left to right throughout the 3 semesters, the stream of management. Then below that, you have the stream of value chain. Below this, you have the whole topic of finance, both accounting and international financial resources, and then contextual topics like quantitative finance, managerial economics, international business law, and your elective and the seminar of the thesis. And as you see in the last 3rd semester, there's the master thesis. However, some students also opt to focus in the 3rd semester on classwork and being a little bit of working students, and then to write the master thesis in the 4th semester, really focusing on the thesis in a company more or less full-time. So the elective courses is offering quite a range of courses. Required is 1 elective course to complete the degree, but it's quite popular by students to pick an additional course beyond that. Often those courses have a strong focus on hot topics and current global issues. So students may be choosing from a format like Business Challenge, where we are also using formats and methods like design thinking as an example, effectuation, also things like agile project management in the setup of a flipped classroom way to work on real life challenge of a company or neighboring organization at the university. So for example, we have had quite a bit of help by students to build up our startup center with ideas about co-working, about how to run and operate the startup center, and so on, or to make an entrepreneurial leadership program also for local companies here. However, we are also working with local companies in that real life setup. Startup lessons is something where students can really come up with their own business ideas and pitch that at the end, even looking already at a high-level financial or economic business plan, and to present that in the end. And a lot of those ideas are further pursued for additional funding by the funding institutions. International supply chain management is a topic. Sustainability management, as our university stands for education for responsibility, is also a very popular topic that students are going into sustainability management more deeply. If they manage to combine that also with their master thesis in that subject, then you could clearly call that a focus, because then 21 out of the 90 credits are in one subject area. Also, business analytics and artificial intelligence will be a new elective we're offering from spring onwards, which has also quite a bit of attention and students being quite interested in that altogether. Language courses is something which we consider to be extremely important. So what is mandatory to apply at our program is that you are proving already A1 level of German, and that's not so much for the studies here at our university, but in order to get ready and prepared for being active here in the surrounding areas in your German-speaking environment. So there are nevertheless, and in the future or from now on, there's the requirement to have A2 level of German skills after 3 semesters or during the 3rd semester when you are signing up for the master thesis. So before signing up for the master thesis, you have to prove A2 level of German. And for that, we are offering German language courses, but you're also free to pick other language courses in other institutions which are confirming that you have at least A2 level, which we consider to be very important for the German environment. And those language courses are supported and provided by our further education institute, Weiterbildungsakademie WHF. And this is a central institution which is also offering other attractive seminars. So how to apply? So there's 2 application dates. One is June and the other one is November. So you have to send in your certificates for recognition for all international applicants at Studienkolleg Konstanz, which you hand in your application, and that they are basically, you're not handing in the application there, but you are providing notary certified documents about your first degree, which they are then checking whether this can be recognized in Germany as a basis for a master studies here in Germany. In parallel, it's important to fill in the official application using the online application tool and enrollment portal Selma at HFWU at our university, which you'll find the link here. And actually, that's a very hot topic. If you're really serious about applying for spring next semester, then you would need to upload and start that process at least until tonight, until midnight. Even if you are not able to complete everything, it would be very advisable to start to open an account with Selma, that you are in the system, even if we cannot guarantee that we can still consider you, but at least that you are start preparing all required documents. Especially if you are from Germany, then you don't need to go through this certificate recognition, then it's even faster, then even more so I would recommend to go into the portal Selma. In parallel, by June 15 or November 15, depending for what semester you're applying for. So November 15 would be for summer semester starting mid-March, March 18 specifically, and June 15 would be the winter semester 24-25, starting in October or end of September. There you would upload all required documents as soft copies to the application and enrollment portal 𝘱𝘢𝘳𝘓 at HFWU before November 15 or June 15 respectively. How to apply? So the document checklist would be to look at a copy of your recognized first degree, the copy of your school leaving certificate, proof of work experience, as this is a Master of Business Administration. It would be important to prove also to show your work experience, whatever you have, whether it's a working contract or whether it's a document about your evaluation, how you have performed during your work there. Then a complete CV, a one-page motivation letter saying why you want to study here at our school, an evidence of proficiency in English for non-native speakers and English-speaking speakers, evidence of proficiency in German A1 level for non-native speakers again. July, August, January, February, we are doing basically the entrance interviews. Even this fall, we might be doing that already in December for spring. So if you meet the formal admission criteria, you will be invited via email to attend an entrance interview at HFWU online for international applicants. Soon after your interview, you will receive your admission results via post or email. So to summarize, to generate information in a nutshell, the study period of study is 3 semesters. It's a full-time program. It's possible to extend 1 semester for studying abroad or for internships. It's 90 ECTS or the European credits. The winter semester starting at the beginning of October and the summer semester at the beginning of March each year. The application period ends at June 15 and November 15 for winter and summer semester respectively. And the course location is Nürtingen, a town near to Stuttgart, an economically strong city with internationally recognized companies. We have 20 admissions per semester, so 20 posts per semester, and the course is system accredited. So a few alumni statements. Here are some examples from Latin America. One, Alejandro who is entrepreneur and innovation consultant, who comes from Colombia. Marcelo coming from Brazil, who is IT service coordinator. In the meantime, he is working in a German company here in Mannheim, but they are clearly indicating how helpful it was to have studied that. Another example from South Africa, an MBA graduate, Karen Dahl, where she really indicates how important it is and how many international people she had met here in this small town of Nürtingen. So the contact details here. My name is Erskine Blanc. In parallel, there's Sibylle Reimer not with us today, who is helping with all the ongoing application process for all questions around that. She would be the primary contact, and in some special cases, I will be facilitating and supporting as well. Then just some insights about special anniversary event we had in the beginning of 2020. We had a special event here just to have an impression of having done a workshop and with managers and companies invited and with some alumni also having joined us all together. We've been doing that in the City Hall right next to our building, and some more pictures of that. Then a welcome party. We are always organizing a welcome party. Here it was Corona style in a beer garden, but otherwise we do it here in a cellar, in a traditional old building and so on. Here, Nothing Talks, I talked about that we are inviting always industry speakers or international professors coming from abroad to speak about their expertise about a special topic. This semester we have the theme of bringing fashion trends international, to bring companies who are maybe residing here in Germany into international marketing. So that's, thank you for your attention.
I will monitor this situation. I will moderate the situation. So first of all, thank you very much, Professor Erskine, for a nice presentation. You can, if you would like to already stop the screen share, and we can start now. We will have around 15 minutes for the live Q&A session. And for BBV, thank you already for taking some questions, as always, very helpful. So first of all, one comment, there was a question if you will get the slides and recordings. Akin, the question was from you because you joined late. I just put in the chat our channel, YouTube channel, where the recordings will be uploaded. So keep an eye on that. And also when and if we'll receive also from our presenters the slides, you will all get it to your emails with which you registered. So let me start with a question for Professor Blanc. I know a question is from Lazar. I know it is 2 years work experience required. My question is more about content or job description. What is that? Does the job has to be any with specific description, or any kind of job will be accepted by you?
Well, if it's a professional job, not just working in a factory, but being in a certain, more or less responsibility, it would be extremely flexible in what kind of industry and background it is. So it could be in your previous background, if you have worked in engineering, for example, and it could be any kind of experience. Also, some people in Germany, for example, they are doing an apprenticeship, so it doesn't necessarily have to be after your studies. It can be even during your studies that you've been doing an internship. All of that would count. It would be important that you carefully document it. Of course, full-time work is counting more in points than part-time work. And after graduation or from the bachelor, it counts also more than prior to a bachelor or during the bachelor. So we will weigh that specifically depending on what you've done. Okay,
great. Thanks for a very clear answer and comprehensive answer. Thank you very much, Professor. Now I will also stick to this topic of requirements. And Teresa, there was a nice question regarding whether it's possible to apply for the program at BBW with a preliminary transcript of records for those who have not completed their studies yet.
Yes, and that is possible. The application is possible, but we will need then the final transcript and the degree certificate once the study starts.
Great. That's very good. Thank you very much. There were 2 questions related to concern from potential students. Professor Berman, for you. One, I remember there was a question. So if I had a history background or similar, not really relevant background, would I be able to do well at the program? And then there was second question also, like in the similar style. So for those students who do not really have the background, which are specifically targeted in the study program, what would be your suggestion to them? How you would say, you said that why they shouldn't worry about this.
I wanted to underline that we have a very specific program for the management of creative industries. And in our case, it is usually happening all the time, not all the time, but it is happening frequently that the studies themselves have played a certain role, but also the working experience. So if somebody studies literature, but he has actually worked in the theater or something like this, just to give you an example, then this is absolutely okay. You know, we have cases. So I have 2. I mean, we have a relatively small study group, so I actually know the people all personally, and I follow them also up later, at least those who want. And so I have 2 persons in mind. One has studied gender studies and one has studied literature, and they're both doing very well in management. So they kind of use this program to kind of switch from this kind of let's say weaker kind of thing into a harder kind of master program where you have a harder approach to kind of management, economy, and stuff like that. So this is absolutely doable. You know, it depends a little bit on the individual case. People need to have the interest in this field, and they also need to have the will to kind of immerse themselves into the industry already during this time.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for motivating words also, Professor Berman. Now, Professor Blanc, there is a 2 questions, which I think students were a bit confused. I think you mentioned constants, right? To check the programs, documents, and students understood it as the need to go through the Studienkolleg procedure, fully 1 year studies. Could you please elaborate more on what, in this case, what does it mean, having documents going through the Konstanz?
Yes, so some students might be familiar with UniAssist in Berlin. So we used to have that in the past, but we've moved away from that. So now we have Konstanz as an institution where the degrees, the certificates, what you have done in your home country are first checked for appropriateness for Germany, and also the grades translated into the German grading system, as we have in different countries, different grading schemes, and we don't have the expertise across 200 countries. We are having that Ausländerstudienkolleg in Konstanz, which is offering that for the whole of Baden-Württemberg for all universities of applied science. So it's something, a service organization doing that on behalf of for all the universities of applied sciences. And that would be valid once you receive that, and you have to send in actually the real certified documents, not only online, but real documents. I mean, of course, certified copies, notary certified copies. And this is valid then with various institutions. So it's not only for us, but in general, at least in Baden-Württemberg, I guess that's even Germany-wide valid then, also for employers and so on. So it takes a little bit longer altogether, but it's a topic which is very useful for everybody. And in parallel, and that's important, you have to register at our application platform, which is called Selma at our institution. So that's at HiFU.
Yeah, great. So basically, it's like a UniAssist thing. It doesn't have to do with Studienkolleg thing that you have to do through the preparatory course. They are attendees, so don't be confused with that. It's much easier than you expected. So, do you have rankings for applicants? Let me stay with you, Professor. So do you rank? So as you said, you mentioned 20 people per admission around. So it means that if you receive more applications, it means that you will limit. And according to what are you ranking the applicants?
So the first step is by the first degree grade. That's why we need to have the translation of the grade. So we make a ranking, first a list, and then the 60 best applicants are invited for an interview. And interview then will also be getting points, and in the interview we will considering your working experience, we will considering your motivation, and we will be doing a little case study with you. Okay. And out of that, certain points are being created, which is then counting 40% for the first degree grade and 60% for the interview. And that will be the final ranking, where we will accept typically more than 20 students, because not everybody is accepting the acceptance. So we are typically accepting 35 students, something like that.
Okay, great. And for BBW, maybe Professor Berman, would you address this question too, regarding ranking?
Yes, I just answered the question in the chat. In our university, we have a specific historic mission here to bring many people into the workforce. So we are not hindering people. That is our philosophy as an organization, actually, so we are not doing any kind of ranking with the students. We are basically taking everyone who wants to come, and basically what happens when we have too many students, then we open a second group or a third group. So basically that is not the point. Because that has a lot to do with our history, that we have this kind of non-elitist kind of approach to things, and we believe that the people who really want to have a degree, they should get a degree, and they should. I mean, it's a long discussion, you know, but we have a different philosophy in this.
Okay, clear. Thank you, Professor. And there was also a question. Is it necessary for my master course I want to pick up to be related with what I've done in my bachelor degree? And I think it was clear by both sides that it's not really the case. So as long as
it's not really the case. I mean, I think that it is I mean, let's take me as an example. I studied law in Germany, and then I did a very similar master degree at the time in France, in French. And so I think it is very interesting when you basically finish your bachelor degree and then you kind of decide, this is what I want to do. I want to go into this industry. That's what I want to choose. And then that is actually more important. It's not so much important where you come from, but where you're heading to. That's, I think, more important.
Great. Thank you. Professor Blank, would you like to add something to that, or we can move to another question?
Actually, very similar. So it has to really lead you to where you want to go. And people who come, let's say, from an engineering to the MBA, then they might end up again later on in the engineering, but with the additional skills, whereas someone having more language background would go completely different route. But the commonalities is really what they are gathering here, that they really have also very good entry altogether into the requirements of the German job environment, that this helps really as a facilitator to get onboarded here in Germany.
I mean, you need to see that the students learn a lot from us as teachers, or professors, but they learn most from each other. And the more higher the variation is from the different backgrounds, the higher you have, the more you actually learn from each other. So I think it would be not very wise to have a too monolithic kind of approach here.
Okay, great. Thank you very much to both of you. And Professor Blank, let me now ask you a question. There was a question regarding the ECTS points requirement that you have for students. So as you said, it was 3 semesters, 90 ECTS point program. And there were basically 2 questions, I would say, regarding this issue. So I had 180 ECTS as on my bachelor. Will I still be able to apply for that kind of program, or is there any way to compensate for that?
So typically it's a 210. If you are below those 210, we would need to, in the course of the application, we would need to study and examine that, whether you have some kind of things compensating for that, which is quite significant work experience, rather longer, or additional courses you have taken or additional things. So we would be looking at that on an individual basis. So we are authorized to examine that.
Okay, great. Teresa, there was a question, maybe you could also just voice it up, regarding whether there is a possibility of 𝘕𝘓𝑢𝑛D-Stipendium, despite the fact that it's a private university. So would you please elaborate on that?
Yes, so we are, in general, we are part of the 𝘕𝘓𝑢𝑛D-Stipendium, and if there is funding, we will offer the 𝘕𝘓𝑢𝑛D-Stipendium. But the thing is that the 𝘕𝘓𝑢𝑛D-Stipendium is always dependent on external sponsorships. So we can only offer it if there are sponsors. But if they are, we will inform our students about it. And what I have to add is that usually first semester students are not eligible to apply for the 𝘕𝘓𝑢𝑛D-Stipendium, but from the second semester on, then it is always possible.
Okay, great. And let me stay now with BBW. Is there any mentorship program for the newly arrived students? Teresa or Professor Bellman, whoever would like to.
Not as such a program, but we have, on the one hand, we have the close support from the university team and from the professors. And we have also, in every study group that we have, there is a study group speaker that is elected by the study group, who collects the concerns of their fellow students and brings those concerns to the responsible person. And we have our student parliament, our own student body, where also these kind of concerns can be voiced, and who have also a vote in different commissions and of the university. So they have a vote in important decisions about the university as well.
Yes, Professor. Thank you, Teresa.
I just wanted to add that from my point of view, it is more important to get master students early into a proper working relationship where they actually earn proper money on a qualified level. So not just working in a restaurant or something like this. And that's why we have this idea that we only teach on Fridays and Saturdays. So the people can actually, everyone who comes to Germany has 20 hours per week free in his student visa or her student visa. and from anywhere in the world. And our experience is that, let's say, 80% of the students have a job within 3 to 4 months, and a better job after a year. So I think that that it is a better way than believing in these kind of scholarships. It's actually to get into the industry and to, as soon as possible, and to find a proper job. And what bachelor students underestimate is they actually have already a bachelor degree, and that is a big difference. And actually, it makes a big difference also in Germany. And many people have only a bachelor degree and never do a master. So I think that they should be a little bit confident, and that's also my experience, that we have such a big, what we call Fachkräftemangel in our creative industry here in Berlin at the moment, that it's really not a problem. I mean, I can just say from the last course, I wouldn't know anyone at the moment who is still seeking some opportunity. It's more the other way around, that companies come to me and say, we want to, do you have a student for us? And I have to say, they're all working. You know, this is completely different than 15 years ago in Germany.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much. Very good advice, actually. Thank you, Professor. And so last question, then I will take now for Professor Blank, just to make sure that Eda is not left without an answer. So Eda, your question is, may I ask what the IB criteria, you mean International Baccalaureate criteria, right? Are for application, for what merits do you give transfer credits, if you give any? So first, let me start. Eda, if I remember it correctly, this is IB is for those who would like to go for bachelor's degree, right? So we are talking here about master's degree, and then, as Professor Blank said, you will need a relevant bachelor's degree for that. This is what will be taken into account, not your high school or diploma or something like that. Professor, please, if I'm wrong, correct me.
Well, that's perfectly correct. We are really talking here about the certificates on the level of the bachelor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, Eda, as long as you have it, feel free to apply. No, there will be no problem in this regard. All right, so we are now perfectly good in time, I would say, and let me open the slide for the official thank you part. Thank you to our guests, professors. Thank you a lot for your presentations and for answering the questions, Teresa, as always. Thank you for your help, especially with this answering the questions. And dear attendees, whenever you have more questions to one of the guests or generally to the programs, you can get in touch with them. They also shared with you their contact details during the presentation, and maybe you will also get the presentations very soon, and then you'll have contact details. You can get in touch with them. Whenever you have general questions regarding studying in Germany, of course, you can also see our website, or you can read our articles, and you can text us also using our email, and then we can also clarify your doubts regarding UniAssist questions, regarding visa questions, APS, or any other general questions that you might have regarding studying in Germany. Also, yeah, you can attend our webinars to find more information about that. Tomorrow, we're also having a webinar where you can still ask different questions, although we are talking mostly about computer science tomorrow. And yeah, if you would like to leave us to us feedback for today's webinar, feel free to do so through our Facebook and Google channels. We always take this feedback into account. That being said, thank you very much once again to everyone for your time, and hopefully we will meet each other on our future webinars. And dear attendees, hopefully we will see you in Germany very soon. Take care and bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.